Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and let me tell you about the 3 top self-development books that have had such a great impact on me. The first one, which I stumbled across many, many years ago, was called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, Napoleon Hill was a journalist and a writer, and he was called in to visit with Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest, most successful business magnates in the world at that time. And Andrew Carnegie invited him in for this interview, and he wasn't sure what it was about. And then Carnegie said, I want you to help me to develop a philosophy of success. I will open the doors to the 500 richest people in America so that you can interview them as many times as you need to, then take all the best information from these 500 people and put it into a series of books to help other young people to be successful much faster. And he said, but the challenge is this. He said, I'm not going to pay you a penny. I'll open all the doors so that you can get all the information and interview all these top people, but I won't pay you a penny. What do you say? And Napoleon Hill had thought this man was going to hire him and pay him an enormous amount of money to do this writing. He was shocked. And he sat there. He tells about it later. He sat there and he thought and he thought and he finally said, okay, I'll do it. And then Andrew Carnegie pulled his watch out from under the desk and he said, you had 60 seconds to give me an answer. You made your answer in 46 seconds. He then went on to open the door to every wealthy person in America, people who had started from nothing and become extraordinarily rich. And what Napoleon Hill did is he took over the years and he found that there were 17 principles that wealthy people had, qualities and behaviors. He found that no one started off with these qualities and behaviors, and he found that they were all learnable. So he wrote a 22-volume set of books on success, which nobody would buy. Then he wrote a 1,000-page book on success, which nobody would buy. And then suddenly the Depression hit, and nobody would buy a success book at all. So in 1936, they took a flyer, the publisher, and they published one small 250-page book called Think and Grow Rich, which became the most successful success book in the history of the world. And I read it over and over again, as have many of the wealthiest people in America. So that's my first one. That's where you would start. Now, my second one would be my own book, Maximum Achievement. Napoleon Hill's book was written in the 20s and 30s. My Maximum Achievement was written for the 21st century. And it shows you how to completely change the way you think, how to set goals in every area of your life, how to dramatically take control of your life in every area and eliminate the negative emotions that hold people back. But it also shows you how to form beautiful relationships with the most important people in your life, how to develop high levels of self-esteem and self-confidence all the time, and many other things. This book is based on my lifetime of study, reading hundreds and thousands of books and articles, putting the material together into seminars, and training more than 1 million people in something like 58 countries on these principles, and then writing it into a book. And so Maximum Achievement and Think and Grow Rich are the right hand and the left hand of success. Now, another book that I would recommend that I have always liked is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Norman Vincent Peale, I knew him and I worked with him before he died. He was a minister and he came up with some very, very interesting ideas about how the more positive you think, the more energy you have, the more grateful you are for the things in your life, the more things that you will have to be grateful for. Just like I teach and other people teach, you'll attract into your life people and circumstances in harmony with your dominant thoughts. So Norman Vincent Peale's idea, the power of positive thinking, has changed an entire generation. You know, the last few decades in America have been the wealthiest decades of any country in the history of man on earth. And it's because these books and other books like them have cascaded like waves. And the people who read the books in the 50s and 60s and 70s, these people have become the movers and shakers and the wealthiest people in our society. So if you want to be like them, number 1, read Think and Grow Rich. Number 2, read my book, Maximum Achievement. Number 3, read The Power of Positive Thinking. Those books will change your life. I've spoken to thousands of people who say literally they went from rags to riches by reading any one of those books. If you read all 3, what a difference it will make. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel by clicking on the button that appears on the screen. Whatever you believe with conviction becomes your reality. whether or not it is true or false. The fear of failure is the single greatest obstacle to success in adult life. Taken to its extreme, we become totally preoccupied with not making a mistake, with seeking approval for security above all other considerations. The experience of the fear of failure is found in the words of, "I can't, I can't." We feel it in the front of the body, starting at the solar plexus and moving up to the rapid beating of the heart, rapid beating and a tight throat. The second major fear that interferes with performance and inhibits expression is the fear of rejection. We learn this when our parents make their love conditional upon our behavior. If we do what pleases them, they give us love and approval. If we do something they don't like, they withdraw their love and approval, which we interpret as rejection. As adults, people raised with conditional love become preoccupied with the opinions of other people. Many men develop type A behavior, which is characterized by hostility, suspicion, and an obsession with performance to some undetermined high standard. This is expressed in the attitude of, "I have to, I have to, I have to," and is associated with the feeling that I have to work harder and accomplish more in order to please the boss, who has become a surrogate parent. More than 99% of adults experience both these fears of failure and rejection. They are caught in the trap of feeling, "I can't, but I have to," or "I have to, but I can't." The antidote to these fears is the development of courage, character, and self-esteem. The opposite of fear is actually love, self-love, and self-respect. Acting with courage in a fearful situation is simply a technique that boosts our regard for ourselves to such a degree that our fears subside and lose their ability to affect our behavior and our decisions. One of the most powerful techniques ever developed to overcome fear and to relieve stress is called the worry buster. Many people have come back to me and said that this simple method has changed their lives from negative to positive and enabled them to be more effective in their work and their personal lives than they had ever thought possible. Here are the 4 steps of my formula. Step 1 is to define the problem or situation you are worrying about clearly in writing. The best way to do this is to take a pad of paper and draw a line from top to bottom, down the center, the middle, and on the left side of the pad of paper, write a clear description of your problem, the answer to the question, what exactly am I worrying about? Fully 50% of all problems can be resolved at this definition stage. In medicine, they say that accurate diagnosis is half the cure. Many of our worries exist because we have not taken the time to sit down and really define clearly what it is that is bothering us. Step 2 is to write out the worst possible outcome of the worry situation. On the right-hand side of the page, answer the question, what is the worst possible thing that can happen as a result of this problem? You may lose your money, lose your relationship, lose your job, your investments, your health, or your prestige. Whatever it is, write it down. Steps 1 and 2 will quickly start relieving the stress that causes worry in the first place. What we have found is that it is resistance to facing the worst possible outcome that causes most of the stress and anxiety associated with worry. Once you have written down the worst possible thing that can happen, you will find that you will slowly stop worrying. Step 3 is to resolve to accept the worst possible outcome should it occur. Just say to yourself, well, if it happens this way, I'll learn to live with it. Once you have resolved to accept the worst should it occur, you no longer have anything to worry about. All the stress caused by denial, by refusing to face what the worst could be, suddenly disappears. And step 4 is to begin immediately to improve upon the worst. Having resolved to accept the worst should it occur, now think of everything that you could possibly do to make sure that the very worst does not occur. Once you stop worrying and have resolved to accept the worst, Your mind will be calm and clear and capable of creative thought. By overcoming fear, you're now in a position to do something constructive. If you enjoyed this video and feel it was worthwhile in teaching you how to boost your productivity, share it with your friends or anyone else who might benefit from this information. Before we wrap up, I'd like to leave you with a thought to share with your friends and followers. Whatever you believe, with conviction, becomes your reality, whether or not it is true or false. Now, I'd love to hear from you, so my question today is, what is something that you've been fearful of, and how did using my Worry Buster technique help you? Leave a comment below, and I'll be sure to follow up with you. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want to change your future, take action, and take action now. If you enjoyed this video and feel it was valuable in helping you to overcome your fear of rejection, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share this video with your friends, and then click the button for a free gift. Thanks again for watching. When I started off my career, I did not graduate from high school, and I worked at laboring jobs for several years. And I didn't think that I was very smart because when I was in school, I didn't get very good grades. And then I realized that learning new skills is a technique. It's like typing with a keyboard or driving a car or riding a bicycle. And I began to study learning skills. Over the years, I have read thousands of books and articles. I've produced more than 800 audio and video learning programs, which are considered the highest content programs in the industry. I write 4 to 5 books each year of 100 to 300 pages, all of which are loaded with content, and I speak 4 or 5 languages. And people say, how can you do this? And I said, it's because I learned how to learn. So in Accelerated Learning Techniques, one of the best programs I ever produced, which I did in conjunction, by the way, with the top accelerated learning experts in the world, is what we did is we found that you can develop your mind in such a way that you can learn at a rapid rate. Let me give you a very simple concept. There's many hours of this, but reading a book, for example. If you read a book, you can read a book with 80% recall if you follow just what is called a simple technique. And the technique has this, what is called the OPIR technique, O-P-I-R. OPIR says that you take a book or an article and you do an overview. You quickly look through it. You look through the front, the back, the covers, the headings, the main paragraphs. If it's a book, you go through it page by page so you can get a sense for how the book is laid out. You get a sense for key points and keywords as you go through, and this begins to prime your mind to learn. The second part, P, is a preview. In a preview, you go slowly through the book. You look at the table of contents. You go to each chapter. You go through it slowly, and you look at the heading and how the book is laid out. The third letter, I, stands for in view. This is where you read the book quickly, and you use your hands to read quickly, and you concentrate throughout the entire book. And then R stands for review. You go back through and you look at the key points that you annotated, or you turn down the pages. Now, this method of reading will take a 6-hour read and bring it down to 90 minutes to 2 hours. It'll also increase your retention rate of the content by about 80%. So you'll remember most of what is in that book. I have now worked with people and taught courses where you can give a person a book and they can sit there in less than 60 minutes. They can read the entire book using these 4 parts: overview, in view, overview, preview, in view, review, and then you can ask them questions on the content of the book and they can answer almost any question you can ask. So that's one method of accelerated learning techniques to help you deal with those books that you have around you that you've been meaning to.
It begins with getting appointments. Is there anybody here who uses the telephone to get appointments? You notice how difficult and frustrating it is. Many people do not use the telephone because they've been rejected and turned down so many times on the telephone that the very thought of it causes them to be angry and frustrated and tense. So what they do is they find every other way possible to make contacts, and the telephone, of course, is the finest and the fastest way if you know how to use it properly. So in approaching a prospect and using the telephone, the key is this, that The first thing that you say to the prospect, once you have found out who it is, has to be something that breaks preoccupation, grabs attention, and points to the result or benefit of the product. Now, let me give you an example. I used to sell, believe it or not, sales training programs. And I would qualify my prospects, and I would call and make appointments. And I found that I could get appointments 9 out of 10 times with qualified prospects using this very simple technique. What I'd do is I'd call up and I'd ask the secretary, I'd say, who is the person who makes the decisions in this area? Who's the person who makes the decisions about sales training for your sales force? They would say, well, that would be Mr. Jones. I'd say, fine. What is his first name, please? Bill Jones. I'd say, could I speak to Mr. Jones? I said, hello, Mr. Jones. This is Brian Tracy. How would you like to see a method that would enable you to increase your sales by 20 to 30% over the next 12 months? Now, if you're speaking to the right person, the question will be aimed at something that is of relevance and something that the other person needs. Now, what do sales managers sit around and think about all day long? Increasing sales. Sales being down, sales being up, but increasing sales. When you say, would you like to see a system that will enable you to increase your sales by 20 to 30% over the next 12 months? The first question, or the next question the prospect asks is, what is it? And that's where you go into the close. And when you are telephoning for an appointment, you are telephoning to sell an appointment, not to sell a product. The biggest mistake we make is we go in to start describing our product on the telephone, and the person says, well, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, can't afford it, I don't have the time, and so on. So all you do is you're selling 10 minutes. You say, that's exactly what I want to talk to you about. I need about 10 minutes of your time. I'll show you what I've got, and you can judge for yourself if it's what you want. If the person says something like, and I used to hear this, they say, well, how much is it? They don't even know what it is. You ever heard that? How much is it? And this is the way you handle that. You say, Mr. Prospect, if it's not exactly what you're looking for, there's no charge at all. Very good response. Get the price thing out of the way. If it's not exactly what you're looking for, it doesn't cost you anything. Then the person says, well, could you tell me a little bit about it? I say, well, that's why I need just 10 minutes of your time. Just 10 minutes, I'll be able to show you what I've got, and you can judge for yourself if it's what you're looking for. Now, the person will often, now remember this, is that good prospects are always busy and hard to get to. Poor prospects are not busy, and they're easy to get to. If you call up somebody and you ask for an appointment, they say, sure, come on over anytime. You can be sure the person isn't going to buy anything from you. So you have to be very, very sharp in using the telephone. Now, the person's going to say this. The prospect is going to say this. Well, could you tell me a little bit about it? You say, yes, I would like to, but there's something I have to show you. Now, as soon as you say the word show, you've eliminated the necessity to describe it on the telephone. The person says, well, could you send me something in the mail? I say, I would like to send it to you in the mail, but you know how bad the mails are. Why don't I drop it off personally sometime this afternoon? Now, if the person is at all serious, they'll say, okay, drop it off personally sometime this afternoon. I'll say, will you be there? Yes, I'll be there. Okay, about 3 o'clock, I'll be in your neighborhood. I'll drop it off personally. Don't mail information. When people say, send me some information in the mail, what they're saying is, go away. I'm not interested. And when you send it to them in the mail, it goes right across the desk and into the wastebasket. If you're going to send things in the mail, what you do is you put it in the envelope, throw it in your own wastebasket, save yourself a stamp. We make the mistake of thinking we can throw it in the mail and we're actually making sales. No, we're not making sales. So what you ask for is 10 minutes, and this is the key expression. You be the judge. You decide for yourself if this is what you're looking for. And if you say it in that way, the person will say, well, I don't know. All I need is 10 minutes of your time, and you can judge for yourself. Because what this does is this says that you'll only be there for a short period of time. You will put no pressure on the person. You'll just show them what you've got, like an Arab trader in the bazaar lays out their wares. If the person doesn't want to select one in 10 minutes, you'll be gone. Now, I have found that if you ask for 30 minutes, you will have to wait for weeks, maybe forever. If you ask for 10 minutes, you can always be slipped in. Don't make the mistake of doing the old insurance salesman's trick. God bless the insurance industry. Of saying, how about 10 o'clock today or 2 o'clock tomorrow? This alternative close on it. Don't do that, because it's been used so many times that what it does is it insults the other person. Just say, sometime this afternoon or maybe sometime tomorrow. Be very flexible. Once the person gives you a time. Now, this is another thing they do. They say, why don't you call me on Monday, and we'll set up an appointment. And what you say to them is this. You say, look, I've got my calendar right here. Is your calendar handy? Dumb question, of course. The person's at their desk. Their calendar is handy. You say, let's set up a time right now. How about 10 o'clock Monday morning? Don't allow yourself to be put off with this call me back on Monday nonsense, because it's just another way of them avoiding seeing you. Remember, the very best customers you'll ever have are the ones you're going to have to fight to get in to see. They are the ones who are the best for you, so when they try to put you off and they try to avoid you and they try to make excuses, it's what they're saying is this may be a very, very good customer. And somebody's going to get to that prospect, and somebody's going to sell the prospect. It might as well be you. So just be persistent, be polite, be firm. Say, look, all I need is 10 minutes of your time. Just 10 minutes will do it. 10 minutes you'll be able to decide for yourself. And just sell 10 minutes. If they ask you about your product or service, say, it's too involved to go into on the phone, but take 10 minutes and I'll show you what I've got. And sell only that. See, if you cannot close on the telephone appointments, you can't even get to first base. And become good at it. If you are shy about using the phone, if you're anxious, if you don't like to use the telephone, it's because you've had frustrating experiences in the past.
Excellent time management is a source of energy, enthusiasm, and a positive mental attitude. Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and today I want to talk to you about 4 time management techniques that can help change the quality of your life. Time management behaviors are very much a matter of choice. You choose to be efficient or you choose to be disorganized. You choose to focus and concentrate on your highest value tasks, or you choose to spend your time on activities that contribute little value to your life. You choose to be positive or you choose to be negative, and you're always free to choose your quality of life. This is one of the most important lessons I ever learned. The starting point of overcoming your previous programming and eliminating the mental blocks to time management is for you to make a clear, unequivocal decision to become excellent at the way you use your time. Everything follows from that. You must decide right here and now that you are going to become an expert in time management to improve your quality of life. Your aim should be to manage your time so well that people look up to you and use you as a role model for their own work habits. Here are 4 time management tips that you can use to program yourself for peak performance to improve your entire life. My first tip is to harness the power of positive affirmations. Positivity will change your quality of life. It is the first of those methods for programming your subconscious mind, called positive self-talk, or the use of positive affirmations. Now, these are commands that you pass from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. Positive affirmations are statements that you either say out loud or you say to yourself with the emotion and enthusiasm that drives the words into your subconscious mind as new operating instructions. Begin by repeating positive affirmations over and over to yourself, such as, I am excellent at time management. I am excellent at time management. Or, I manage my time well. I manage my time well. Any command or positive affirmation repeated over and over in a spirit of faith, acceptance, and belief will eventually be accepted by your subconscious mind as a command, and you'll begin to live in harmony and consistent with the command. My favorite time management affirmation is, I use my time well. I use my time well. I use my time well. When you repeat positive affirmations over and over, they're eventually accepted by your subconscious mind. You will then find that your external behaviors will start to reflect your internal programming to improve your work-life balance and quality of life. So one of the great miracles of success psychology is that you become what you say to yourself over and over again. The second technique that you can use to program your subconscious mind is through visualization. Mental pictures most immediately influence your subconscious mind. In self-image psychology, the person you see is the person you will be on the outside through positive affirmations. Begin to see yourself as well-organized, efficient, and effective in time management. Recall and recreate memories and pictures of yourself when you were performing at your best. Think of a time when you were working efficiently and effectively and getting through an enormous amount of work. Play this picture of yourself over and over again on the screen of your mind until it's accepted as your new reality. The third time management method is simple. First, you sit or lie in a quiet place where you can be completely alone in the silence. Through positive affirmations, imagine yourself going through an important upcoming experience, such as a meeting, a presentation, a negotiation, or even a date that would improve your work-life balance and your quality of life. As you sit or lie completely relaxed, create a picture of the coming event and see it unfolding perfectly in every respect. See yourself as calm, positive, happy, and in complete control. See the other people doing and saying exactly what you would want them to do if the situation was perfect. The fourth mental technique is to imagine that you are already excellent at time management. Imagine that you have been selected for a role in a movie or stage play. In this role, you are to act the part of a person who's extremely well organized in every respect. As you go through your daily life, imagine that you are an actor who is playing this part, who is already very good at time management. Act as if you are already using your time efficiently and well. Pretend that you're an expert in personal efficiency and time management. When you pretend that you are excellent in time management, eventually the action, which is under your direct control, will develop the mindset or the belief in your subconscious mind of a highly efficient person. Before we wrap up, I'd like to leave you with a thought to share with your friends and followers. It is this: excellent time management is a source of energy, enthusiasm, and a positive mental attitude. Now, I love to hear from you. So my question today is, how can you apply one of these techniques, or maybe more than one, to your life? Leave a comment below, and I'll be sure to follow up with you. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want to change your future, take action, and take action now. To learn more time management tips like these, click the button on the screen or in the description to get my free Eat That Frog transcription. If you enjoyed this video and feel it was valuable, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share this video with your friends or anyone else who you think might benefit from this information.